for Unit 8, Day 4 notes, this is about the angles of elevation and depression. And this is just using sine, cosine, tangent in more real-life situations. So for angle of elevation, you can see the person here standing, and as they look up at the top of this tower, if you're looking up, that's your angle of elevation here. Okay. So here's your person looking atop the tree. A tree is 30 feet tall, so we know that the tree, 30 feet, and casts a shadow of 40 feet. So this is the shadow here on the ground. To the nearest degree, what is the angle of elevation of the sun? So you can see that you're finding x. So from this angle x, this would be your opposite. This would be your adjacent. And because we are dealing with opposite and adjacent, it might help you to write SOHCAHTOA. And we can see that adjacent and adjacent and opposite are right here in TOA. So tangent of x equals opposite over adjacent, which is 40. And so because we're finding the angle measurement, we have to use the inverse. So tan inverse of x equals, so we use the second, tan, put in your fraction, 30 divided by 40, close your parenthesis, and we get 36.86 rounded to the nearest degree would be 37. In part B, a surveyor wants to find the height of a tower used to transmit cellular phone calls. So if this is your tower, you're finding x, the height of that. He stands 145 feet away from the tower. So 145 feet away, so here he is over here. Okay? He's 145 feet away from the tower. And the measure of elevation is 35. So here he is, he's looking at the top of the tower. This is your angle. So from that angle, we have the opposite, we have the adjacent, and the opposite and the adjacent would be tangent. So I'm going to use tangent of 35 and go opposite over adjacent, and that would be x over 145. So in day 3 notes, we decided that if your x was on the top, that you would multiply both sides by the denominator to get x by itself. And so this one, I'm going to do tan 35 times 145, and I get that x is 101.53. But it does say to the nearest foot, meaning to the nearest whole number. So x would be 102 feet. Because 5 makes the 1 round up. Okay. In letter C, then you have 2 problems. So we're going to go ahead and label problem 1 and problem 2. 2 observers simultaneously observe an airplane overhead, and between them, they measure their angle of elevation to the airplane and obtain a 38 degree and a 75 degree angle of elevation. So here this guy, he's got a 38, and this guy has a 75. Their plane is 2.4 miles directly above the point shown in the figure. So here, from this point up, that's 2.4 miles. What are the distances x and y of each observer from the point directly below the airplane? Round your answer to the nearest hundredth, or a hundredth of a mile. Okay, so for this one, from this angle, this is your opposite. Okay, O for opposite. This is your adjacent. Opposite and adjacent are tangent. So tan of angle 38 equals the opposite over the adjacent. Okay. In the other figure, here he is, and this is my opposite, and this is my adjacent. So again, I'm going to use tan of 75 equals opposite over adjacent y. Now, we discussed in class yesterday that in day 3, if your denominator is x, then really you are dividing by the tan. And then here, y would be 2.4 divided by tan 75 degrees. It says round your answer to the nearest hundredth of a mile. So if I put in 2.4 divided by tan 38 and close my parenthesis, we get 3.071. Rounded to the nearest hundredth, 1 makes the 7 stay the same. Okay, then for y, again, 2.4 divided by tan 75, close your parenthesis, you get 0.643, and that rounds to 0.64 miles.